Charlie's expression turned cold, but for Darren's sake, he decided not to waste his time on these two idiots. Seeing this, Sasha and Jasper looked down on Charlie even more. They had insulted him, and he didn't even dare to say a thing back. What a coward! Jasper continued, sarcastically. You know, Claire must be blind. She could have had any of the great guys from our class, but she picked a loser like Charlie. Just as he said that, the door to their private room was suddenly thrown open. A few tough-looking men in black stormed in. The one in the lead, a young guy with a cigarette dangling from his lips, said coldly, "Everybody out. I want this room." Jasper frowned. "What do you think you're doing? Can't you see we're eating here?" He slapped the table and said, "This is the Grand Sterling. Don't you understand how things work? First come, first served." First come, first served? The young man with the buzz cut and cigarette walked right up to Jasper and slapped him hard across the face. Jasper stumbled to the ground, his face instantly red and swollen. "You trying to act tough with me? I'm Rocco Slater. I work for Orville Hudson. Who the hell do you think you are?" "Rocco Slater?" Jasper held his cheek, his eyes wide with panic. Rocco was a well-known tough guy in this part of town. He wasn't a major player in all of Oris Hill, but he was definitely someone you didn't want to cross. "Sorry, Rocco, we'll leave right now. We're going." Rocco sneered and glared at the others. "What are you all staring at? Get the hell out of here!" Elsa and Claire panicked and instinctively ducked behind Charlie. Charlie looked at Rocco and said coldly, "Out of respect for Orville, I'll let you walk out of here right now. I suggest you take the offer." "What the hell, Charlie? Are you crazy? That's Rocco Slater." "Sorry, Rocco, we don't really know this Charlie guy. If you have a problem, it's with him. Please don't hurt us." Jasper and Sasha were furious with Charlie's reckless behavior. What a stupid act. This was Rocco Slater, one of Orville's guys. He was a violent man who had seen real bloodshed. Talking to him like that was just asking to be killed. However, the man named Rocco hesitated. He looked at Charlie as if he were trying to remember something. His expression suddenly shifted, and he asked cautiously, "You're Charlie Wade?" Rocco had been working for Orville for a long time. He'd been lucky enough to hear Charlie's name mentioned before, and it all suddenly clicked. Charlie said coldly, "Are there any other Charlie Wades in Oris Hill?" Rocco looked like he'd been struck by lightning. He immediately dropped to his knees. "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Wade. I didn't realize it was you, sir. I deserve to die 1,000,000 times." Jasper watched this happen, completely baffled. "Rocco," he said, "is there some kind of mistake? I mean, yeah, his name is Charlie, but he's just a worthless live-in son-in-law. He's no Mr. Anything." Rocco's face went pale. He spun around and kicked Jasper to the ground. "You idiot! Are you trying to get yourself killed? How dare you insult Mr. Wade? I swear, I'll kill you myself right now." Although Rocco could be considered a top guy in the area, he knew in his heart that he was just a dog for Orville. And when faced with Charlie, even Orville had to kneel and grovel. Rocco knew he wasn't even worthy of licking Charlie's boots. "And you witch! You dared to insult Mr. Wade, too." As he spoke, Rocco turned and slapped Sasha across the face. "Look, Rocco, we'd like to get back to our dinner, so please, get out of here." Charlie couldn't be bothered with a small-time player like Rocco, so he just waved a hand, dismissing him. Rocco nodded and bowed deeply. "Don't worry, Mr. Wade. I'll get out of your hair. We're leaving right now." After that, like an obedient dog, he scrambled out of the private room. Back in the room, Jasper and Sasha were beyond uncomfortable. Charlie, the guy they had just been relentlessly mocking, had somehow become Mr. Wade to Rocco Slater. What the hell was happening? There had to be a mistake. Charlie was just a loser. How could anyone call him sir or a master? You two really need to watch yourselves from now on, Darren told them. You have to be more low-key when you're out. Think before you open your mouths, because saying the wrong thing could land you in huge trouble. Jasper and Sasha had just gotten smacked around by Rocco, so they didn't dare say a word. Darren then turned to Charlie. Charlie, thanks to you, man. I'll raise a glass to you for all of us. Thank you. Charlie just smiled slightly. It was nothing. The next day, Claire got an interview invitation from Apex Group. The interview was set for the afternoon. While Claire was preoccupied, Charlie pulled out his cell phone and called Salman White. As soon as the call connected, Salman White's respectful voice came on the line. Mr. Wade, what can I do for you? Charlie said casually. My wife is applying for a job at Apex Group. I wanted to ask you about the company. Salman White sounded surprised. Apex Group? That company is a wholly owned subsidiary of the White family. Miss Claire Wilson is applying for a job there? That's far beneath her. How about this? I'll just get rid of the current chairman. What do you say to making Miss Claire Wilson the new one? Charlie was stunned. He was surprised to learn that Apex Group was owned by the White family. It would be great if Salman White could help, but then he remembered that his wife wanted to succeed on her own merits. No, he said calmly. Just arrange it so that my wife passes her interview. Salman White immediately replied, full of respect. Of course, Mr. Wade. I'll arrange it right now. As soon as Salman White hung up the phone, he called his assistant and told them to send a notice to the senior management at Apex Group. Whatever Mr. Wade asked for, it had to be done perfectly. At 2 in the afternoon, Claire was getting ready to leave for her interview at Apex Group. Since their car was at the dealership for maintenance, she and Charlie had to take a cab. But it was rush hour. They waited by the side of the road for a long time but couldn't get a cab. Claire was getting anxious. She said, frustrated, If I'm late for the interview with Apex Group, it'll make a terrible first impression. I never would have taken the car in for maintenance if I'd known this would happen. Charlie felt just as helpless. Looking at the line for cab, he figured there were at least 50 people ahead of them. This was a real screw-up. Just then, a black luxury car slowly pulled up in front of them. The window rolled down, and the person inside was Salman White. He looked surprised and said, Mr. Charlie, are you trying to hail a cab? Charlie was stunned for a second. What a coincidence that Salman just happened to be here. He said, I'm trying to get my wife to Apex Group for an interview. What are you doing here? Salman quickly said, Mr. Charlie, it's rush hour. It's probably impossible to get a cab. If you don't mind, I can give you a ride. Although Claire thought it was a little strange that Salman White had just appeared out of nowhere, she said with some embarrassment, Oh, that's too much trouble, Mr. White. No trouble at all. Salman hurriedly got out of the car and opened the door for them, looking very pleased. Seeing this, Charlie just touched his nose and didn't say anything. He knew Salman White had seized the opportunity to suck up to him, and he wasn't about to let it go. It just so happened that Charlie needed to use him too, so there was no reason to refuse. The driver was up front, and Salman sat in the passenger seat, chatting casually with Charlie. As soon as she got in the car, Claire felt very confused listening to their conversation. This Salman White was a successful man in Oris Hill. In the business world, his status was even higher than her grandmother, Mrs. Wilson. He was usually so composed, but Claire could clearly see that Salman White was practically fawning over Charlie, and it was over the top. She glanced over at Charlie. His expression was completely natural, neither submissive nor arrogant, which made things even weirder. Logically, in front of someone like Salman, most people would be falling all over themselves to please him. But Charlie looked indifferent, like he was barely paying Salman White any attention. What was even more amazing was that Salman had given Charlie a villa worth more than $100 million. It was all very strange. However, Claire had heard that Salman was extremely superstitious and into things like metaphysics. He would burn incense and pray to Lady Luck at his home on the 5th and 15th of every month. It just so happened that Charlie seemed to have studied that kind of mysterious stuff. That must be the reason Solomon was being so polite to him. Still, she didn't believe in any of those old-fashioned superstitions herself. 10 minutes later, the car stopped in front of Apex Group. As soon as the car stopped, Solomon rushed to get out and open the door for them. Claire quickly said, "Thank you, Mr. White," and then followed Charlie into the Apex Group building. "Mr. Wade, I'll be right here waiting for you to come out," Solomon said. Charlie nodded at him. "Thanks for the ride, but you don't have to wait. I don't know when we'll be done. You should just go." "It's okay. I have nothing else to do today." Solomon nodded and bowed slightly with a smile. "The White family's business hasn't been doing so well lately. I'm really worried. I was hoping I could get your advice on it." Charlie smiled. "It's like you're under a cursed star. You can buy some herbs like Tribulus terrestris, ginseng root, and valerian root. Take a few medicated baths to clear up that eczema, and your luck should improve. That internal dampness is caused by bad energy. And when that bad energy gets in, it doesn't just affect your body, it affects your fortune too." Solomon was stunned when he heard this, his eyes practically popping out of his head. After Charlie finished speaking, he turned and left. Solomon was still in shock. After a long moment, he murmured, "My God, Mr. Wade is really something else. He could even figure out I have eczema on my thigh. Not even my wife knows about that." With a look of pure reverence, he bowed deeply toward Charlie's back. It seemed he had decided to hitch his wagon to Charlie, and he was absolutely sure he'd made the right choice. Charlie walked into the lobby and saw Claire to the interview room. When Claire went inside, she saw there were still a few other candidates, so she got in line to wait. Charlie was bored, so he wandered around the lobby. He glanced out the window and saw that Solomon was still waiting down below. He couldn't help but shake his head. The White family was really treating him like royalty.